Hello everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Armchair Gaming. Last week we started playing a little bit of No Man's Sky, one of the more controversial games of 2016, given its lack of follow-through, I suppose, on part of the developers, which is not to say that I don't enjoy the game. I thoroughly find the game astounding. But we were looking more at the content of the game and the tone it sets for philosophical theories such or not philosophical theories, but philosophical concepts like existentialism, nihilism, theology, metaphysics, a little bit, I guess. We spent last week talking largely about existentialism, and this episode's going to be a fair bit about existentialism as well. But we're also going to be diving into a little bit of that whole nihilism lifestyle, and that should wrap up today's episode, and then next episode we'll start looking at theology. I am optimistic about. And on that note, I say we dive right into this game. So we're right where we left off the last time I hit the pause button. That's it, I've left everything else alone. Zoom. Oh, don't shoot that. There are bots right by who are checking me out, I'm sure. Why is it still so hot? Alright, now we can shoot it. Give me that carbon, give me that carbon. Last we left off, we were talking about existentialism and how games like this invoke a great amount of existential. I shouldn't say invoke, but they very strongly provide us with a lens for approaching existentialism, because how you play the game is entirely decided on how you would like to play the game. And sorry about that, my mom just decided to pop by and scare the bejesus out of me. What's going on? Like another 10 minutes. Yeah, okay. I will help after. Cool. Awesome. Pardon the interruption. We are cruising along right now, just taking a peek at existentialism, and you guys just got a peek into my just crazy exciting life here. So you can tell I'm very skittish by nature. Small bear, who is my mom, scared the honkus out of me just by popping by. Just to see what's what. So we are going to try and find ourselves a little cave to hang out in to let our thermal protection recharge. So we found some themium in that direction. No. Right here. Themium right here. Themium is abundant in outer space. We're really interested in trying to find ourselves a cave to hide in. But we're really just at the moment finding nothing but open pits, which don't help with thermal protection. What do you do? Iron. But from what I recall, there's a little something there. It's a little far away, we probably will not make it. We're going to pick up all that plutonium. We're going to get really... Oh! I think we may be alright to try and actually dig ourselves a cave to hang out in right here. We might be okay. I'm unsure. Nope. Maybe. Let's find out. Yep, there we go. So we dug ourselves a cave. We're going to hide out in here. We're going to let our temperature shield come back up. You can also recharge it with shielding something. Do I have any of that? Can I craft one? I'm certain I can. Life support, nope. Yeah, tin, titanium, nanite-clusters, plutonium. We should charge that back up actually while we can. Boom. Nice. And mining beam should also be able to charge up with a little bit of plutonium. Gives us some space there. It's almost charged up. The other thing you can do is build a shielding charge. Anywho's it's. What was I gonna say? Yes, sorry. So we were looking at existentialism as it is developed by these kinds of games. How do I run? Oh, it's the right stick. Sorry. I've been trying to figure out how I run, and I've been pushing in left stick, and that just keeps scanning stuff. I was getting a little frazzled. Platinum. Nice, I don't think I need that. My backpack is full, so I'm SOL if I find something that I need now. But we're going to run to this doodaddy here. because we know that there is a deposit of something or other on the way back of whatever it is that I need. So we will deal with that as the time comes. So existentialism as it applies to this game and vice versa. This game provides us with the Comatan. Oh, well, that's how one dies. Neat. Let's go. Jetpack away. Perfect. Made it in one piece. And we're gonna save here. So like I was saying, the ability to play this game in whatever manner that applies to you lends itself to this game being one for looking at the existential narrative in a very, I guess, simple lens, right? You choose to play this game, however, best fits your needs, and as such, the game kind of allows you to explore your. You won't be able to transfer it. Oh, you can teleport as far as you want. Oh, that's actually really handy. I thought there was a limit. I was wrong. Nice. So like I was saying, the existential lens is one that we get to explore in this game. But also a really interesting note is the different forms of nihilism that kind of come forth through playing this game. Oh, nice Viking dagger. One of the more... Nihilism is a thing that actually... Friedrich Nietzsche, I'm going to talk about him again. I guess he is a favorite of mine. I do like to read his books and talk about him a fair bit. But one of the things we learn about... Why are you 9 minutes away? There must be one closer. Truly. Unless my ship is also like 9 minutes away. There's zinc up there. I want some of that. No, my spaceship is so much closer. Okay, cool. There must be one closer. So, Friedrich Nietzsche is often attributed with being a forethinker in, like, the school of nihilism. In more, like, modern, less, I guess, less closed-off circles of philosophy. But somebody presented me with a paper not too long ago that suggested that Friedrich Nietzsche was in fact not a nihilist, but somebody who observed nihilism as it related to humans and saw that we have a nihilistic dilemma. He wasn't a nihilist himself. He truly believed that there was value in life and living. Which isn't at all, like, I shouldn't say at all, it isn't typically what nihilists are opposed to.
Temperature levels
stabilize. But what he observed, what he wanted to do was point out that there was this nihilistic feeling in modern thinking and modern religion, and say we need to fight this tide because it is something that we can combat. We don't have to be lashed to this nihilistic lifestyle that we seem to have emboldened ourselves with. Which was, I guess, confusing for a lot of people because it's easy to read him as a nihilist as opposed to somebody who opposed the tide of nihilism. But nihilism comes in a variety of forms. And actually one of the big ones here is... we can talk about morality and moral nihilism, actually. I think we might do that. So, we're gonna encounter alien species in this game. Maybe, I guess, episode 3 will be more about morality than it will be about theology. Who knows? Because I don't think I'm gonna make it to an alien species today. That's for sure, because I've got about 6 or 7 minutes left in this game. Moral nihilism, which is one form of nihilism, deals with the principle that morality doesn't actually exist, and that everything we do is everything is or should be a construct. And it ties in very well with existentialism because existentialism deals with the absurd, which suggests that there are no there are no good and bad actions, or there are no good and bad people, and there are no good and bad consequences. There are simply people, and there are simply actions. And the absurd tends to fly in the face of most modern religion, because a lot of modern religion deals with the principle that if you are a good person, good things will happen to you, if not in this life, then the afterlife. As well as, it gives flight to the expression bad things happening to good people. What we see in this game is a shift away from moral constructs. There clearly are societies that have morality built into them, but they are secondary to the gameplay. You don't need to abide by their morals in order to beat the game or progress the game. You can simply exist by your own moral code and exist that way, or by no moral code. You can decide that you will treat one person this way and the next person a different way. The decision lies squarely on your shoulders. And that's important for both existentialists and nihilists, because an existentialist will say, well, yes, that's how it should be, because there is no good action, nor is there a good person. We're all relative. There are just people and there are actions, that's all. Iridium, carrot, sheet, and zinc. I just wanted to hang out in here and let my shields regenerate themselves. And then we're going to go get some iridium. That will probably happen as the episode's over, actually. Oh, good. Actually, can I take off with just this? I have no energy. Can I charge you? I've got plutonium, right?
Technology recharge.
Nice. Yeah, okay, so it won't let me fly unless I repair my pulse engine. I was really hoping that they'd maybe change that, because remember my first playthrough, I was like, I gotta rebuild everything! It was very upsetting. So Iridium Deposit is, in fact, 7 minutes away. That's actually not that bad. It could be closer. I would like it to be closer. But I'm sure I'll be able to encounter some zinc along the way, and I'll be able to get everything else that I need. What is my backpack inventory looking like? Let's put you over there, you over there, and we'll put you over there. Nice. There we go. And we're back at it. Scanner recharging. Yes, sorry, wrong button. So, the other form of nihilism that I think, at least, is portrayed in this game is real nihilism, I suppose, which is to say that this game is incredibly vacuous, and there's almost no value to anything. Value in this game for the player itself is incredibly limited. Your interactions from species to species, or item to item, or basically anything is limited to the value that you impose it, but no value beyond that exists. And again, this game is incredibly vacuous. You can traverse into the depths of space and encounter nothing for extended periods of time, and it demonstrates just how empty space can be at times when you're up in the stars. And on the next episode, I'll be tying some of that in. I'm going to try and time this with my first launch into outer space, so that you can experience it. Oh, hey, buddy, let's scan you. But there is an emptiness in this game that begins to deal with some forms of existentialism. Obviously, there is lots of stuff that exists, so we can't get into the metaphysical. There is no real world, because this game clearly demonstrates that you're dealing with tangible elements. That isn't to say that it is through a veiled lens of sorts, which may very well be the case. Maybe there is no real world, and what you're dealing with is entirely artificially generated. That is a theory that you could uphold in this game. This game doesn't propose that theory very well, so it would be a much harder one to justify. But that's not to say it couldn't be possible. Just that this game itself doesn't lend itself to that way of thinking. Oh, look at you, you freak! I want to scan the hell out of you. Come here, my pretty. Don't be angry. Non-uniform ambulatory vegetation. Okay. Oh, perfect. Oh, this is awesome. So this is a knowledge stone. This is actually a really fun way to. So knowledge stones provide you with the capacity with interacting with alien species better, because not all alien species speak English, which obviously makes sense. Oh, hey, there's that thing I'm walking towards up there. But you use knowledge stones to learn more words that you can interact with, which I suppose would be actually be a fun way to talk about Noam Chomsky's theory of language, especially how adolescents and children and infants learn language. that's always pretty cool to talk about. But I'm not very confident in my understanding of that theory, so I think maybe I should leave it to a more intellectually equipped individual, I suppose. Nice. Oh, is that a cave for me to hide in? Is it? No, fudge. Yeah, you like that? You like that save, everybody? Just managed to squeak that out. So what was I gonna say? What was I? Oh, hi guys. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you. I'm leaving. I promise. I don't have hazmat gauntlets, so I can't deal with that. Can I bury into you? Please let me dig into you. No, get out of the way. Oh, thank God. No. There you go. Perfect. Hang out in this cave. Perfect. Awesome. Actually, this is going to be a really good time to end the episode. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I know it was a little rambly. There is a lot of ground to cover in existentialism and nihilism, theology, metaphysics. It would be really hard to try and clamor it down in 15 minutes. I went to university for 4 years just to get an undergrad, and that's not to say that my instructors, professors, and fellow classmates didn't explore this in much greater detail, because I know my fourth year roommate went off to do her master's down in the States, actually, and I'm very proud of her. I'm hoping at one point she watches these videos and at least gives me some pointers or guidance. But thank you for tuning in. On the next episode, we're going to fly off into space. We're going to meet some aliens who are capable of communication. And we're going to take it from there. We'll meet some aliens. We'll talk more about morality. We'll start dealing with more theology and maybe some metaphysics. And definitely some more nihilism, because I was very light on the brushstrokes with nihilism. I just got very excited talking about existentialism and nihilism, because I guess those are some of my favorite subjects. I'm lying. My favorite subject is logic and formal logic therein, but we won't really have much of a chance to talk about that in any video game, I suppose. But maybe the time will come. So anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you tune in for the next one, and I hope you're enjoying this series, because I know I enjoy recording it. It's a lot of fun, and it's a little satisfying and fulfilling for what I spent a good chunk of my greatest years exploring. So thanks so much. Check out the Scholarly Gamers website. Check me out on Twitter, and I'll see you all on the next episode.